Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video here at Tablemon. I'm back from Salt Lake City where I lost my winning in and thus got top 256 yet again. Yeah, so slowly but surely getting to the point of the invite. I have 60 championship points now out of 250 I do need, and my next stop is Brazil. Now, we did see HISUAN Goodra take down the tournament, which was very surprising to me, not gonna lie. I didn't have a lot of expectations for Goodra. It felt very underwhelming, but I do recognize how the metagame was perfectly positioned for it, as the attack Rolling Iron doing 200 damage, and this Pokemon taking 80 less damage from attacks the turn after. It's pretty big when there aren't a lot of things that are one-hit killing you. Even though Kyurem was very popular though in the event, like if you can dodge some of your bad matchups, then you're gonna be fine, right? Then we have the ability Moisture Star as well, which it does compete with Starbirth from HISUIan VSTAR in helping and setting up. But if you manage to set up without using Starbirth, then Moisture Star allowing you to heal all damage from this Pokemon is pretty powerful, especially when you are reducing damage as well. Now we do have HISUIan VSTAR to help power up with Trinity Nova doing 200 and firing up 3 basic energy cards, and like I said, Starbirth letting you grab any 2 for consistency, but we can also power up with Trinity Charge as well, and perhaps a Power V-Star. Now this deck did run the Colress Experiment engine, not focusing on the Lost Zone, but looking at the top 5, putting 3 cards into your hand to help further your setup. Never a bad choice. The inclusion of Path to a Pig is also pretty good when you're not discarding as much. It's easier to conserve cards in your hand to combine Path to a Pig with Roxanne or Marnie to attack other decks. And yeah, overall this deck feels very good. It definitely wants to dodge Mew and Kyurem, which were very popular at Salt Lake City, but the damage reduction and the healing as well with Hyper Potion does seem pretty good, along with further damage reduction with Radiant Gardevoir's Loving Veil ability, taking 20 less damage from attacks. So overall, a pretty good deck. Let's give this a try in the ladder.
If you're planning on buying any cards from TCG Player, make sure you use our affiliate link right here in the description of our video to help support the channel. It's the best way to do it and it's free. Looking for PTGO codes? Photon Store has all the latest sets and promos instantly delivered to your email. You can use Tablemon code when checking out for 5% off. Card Market is Europe's largest online marketplace for Pokemon cards. Whether you're looking for sealed product or singles, vintage or the latest sets, just follow the link in the description to find what you need. This video is sponsored by the Pokemon TCG deck building website PokemonCard.io.
So as mentioned, I do have the possibility to power up Goodra through Trinity Charge, which is fantastic. The opponent also starts Luminion, which is really good for me, right? I reckon we're up against a Lost Box sort of deck. And okay, looking, not gonna lie, really good. So I'm gonna lead with the Colress. I might not even need Quick Ball. Although, I guess I can Quick Ball away a Melanie. And that improves my Colresses as well. I also get to check my prize cards. No Goodra is priced, which is great. Did prize a Stadium, a Colress, the Big Charm, a Water, a Quick Ball, and a Hyper Potion. So nothing too bad. And for those of you who might be newer followers of the channel, I actually played against Hale Obernolte, the player who just got up, who just won Salt Lake City Regionals. I actually played against him at Vancouver Regionals back in 2017 in the finals. Yeah, I've actually played against Hale in the finals and a pretty good match. Gardevoir GX versus Gardevoir GX. He was playing a build with max potions and I was not. I was playing with Sylveon GX, so he would have had the advantage there. But from what I can recall, it's been a long time since then. I did have the consistency advantage, if you will, and that's what allowed me to win. However, yeah, Hale has been a really good player for a long time. I don't think he plays as much as other people do, right? That's why you don't see him that often, but he's clearly a very talented and very good player, and also an extremely pleasant person as well. So it was really nice to see him get that win. All right, so we are up against Kyurem, a potentially really bad matchup. I do have the possibility to Starbirth and take the initiative against Kyurem. That seems like a decent plan, honestly. Especially because they have 1 KO potential, so my my V-Star is definitely less good. Now this does mean I will leave myself in a dead draw situation, but I think I'm okay with that at this stage. So I'll also bench this Goodra to be able to pair it up. We'll go ahead and Starbirth. And I think doing this makes sense because Kyurem is a threat, right? You don't want Kyurem getting back-to-back one-shots at all. I'll keep the double turbos for now, for potential further power-ups on the Arceus. So I could have taken the prizes right here, but I think getting the initiative against the Kyurem is actually way better, because then if my opponent does decide to, or is able to KO me, they would have been able to KO me anyways after I knocked out the Luminion, but I'd be stuck in a situation where I'd need 2 hits to KO the Kyurem, whereas right now, all I need is 1 more. So at best, the 3 prize worth Kyurem VMAX will take 2 prizes, so it's a favorable trade for me. So taking the initiative instead of taking the 2 prizes, I know a lot of people, I have a lot of friends who would be like, oh no, I have to get prizes. Yeah, prizes is good. I mean, prizes are good. Prizes mean you win the game, right? Well, I mean, yes, but no, right? Having a further plan is always good. Okay. My opponent did lose a stadium and a lost vacuum. So that's going to be impactful as well. We don't see any Palkia just yet, but we are going to see the knockout of the research. So like I said, if I had knocked out the Luminion, my opponent would indeed have been able to take the KO against me, and they would be in a completely safe situation. I would have to, I would be taking or dealing some damage, but I would not be KOing, and then perhaps off of Oranguru, Melanie, etc., they would have been able to do even better than they currently are. So the stadium actually seems really good. In fact, to further take control of this game, because the way my opponent can come back into this is through their ability usage. So this shuts off both Greninja and Kyurem VMAX, and like I said, they did get rid of 2 ways to counter stadiums off of the previous research. So hopefully that will make a difference. And then just grabbing the call res was pretty alright. I could grab a double turbo of the next call res. It's likely-ish to happen. And that will allow me to potentially heal any sort of damage that my opponent deals this turn, though it's not very likely that they do. So there's the Kyurem. And yeah, like I said, this path to peak could actually be pretty huge. Okay, my opponent decides to retreat into Radiant Greninja, which is completely fine. I am able to bench the Radiant Gardevoir. It will not hurt me at all to do so. I feel like at this point I'm just looking for boss, right? I'm not really looking to heal that much. So thinning this card, trying to get closer to the boss's orders, feels like the right play. So I can grab these to further thin the deck. useless cards, improve my chances of finding the boss. I might not be able to find it next turn, however, but we're still in a pretty fine spot. We get the KO with Rolling Iron. It's all about slow and steady, right? Which makes sense with a metal slug Pokemon. Alright, and I was able to actually find another Colress, which does give me the exact same thing as Barney, though. Alright, 2-card hand for my opponent. Barney, Palga's ability not available, Kyurem's ability not available, Greninja no longer in play, no Crobat possibility either. So that path alone putting in so much work. Alright, on to the next match. Alright, so you can see this deck is not going to be overwhelming in its wins, but it will be able to accomplish what it needs to. Alright, based from the mulligans and the current starter, we know we're up against Lost Box, and I did see that they have Echoing Horn, so I will want to be careful with the Pokemon that we'll try to be careful in not discarding any Pokemon at all. Establishing the Goodra here doesn't do much for me. Just get bossed or cross-switched, and then I'd have to find a switch, so not super in any sort of rush at the moment to find it. My opponent just starts the Colress, which is very nice. Very not lucky, but definitely not in your favor to just start the raw Colress like that. Can't believe someone the other day criticized me and said that it's weird that I drink water. Like, you've never recorded videos, like I'm sure you can imagine, right? Talking and like keeping your throat lubricated is very important to not hurt yourself, and just drinking water in general is very good for you, right? 2 liters per day keeps the doctor away. Yeah, that was just real weird. Anyways, we do see a Manaphy get discarded very correctly. No attack with Cramorant, so a very underwhelming turn from my opponent right there. So with this, I don't want to discard any Arceus. I get Incense for the V-Star and then just grab I think I do want to Ultra Ball though. 1 Incense. So this will get me the Goodra, and then off of the V-Star, I will grab myself I could just grab the Goodra V-Star. I'm definitely grabbing the Double Turbo, or I could just grab a Colress Experiment. I kind of like the Colress Experiment a little bit more than just the Goodra, just to start digging through the deck. And also just grab Marnie too. Although we know my opponent's hand is not super fantastic, I guess the Colress will do. I'm gonna go Colress. Alright. Do like these cards to further power up. Of course, the big Parasol could be cool and useful to prevent any sort of Sableye shenanigans. And like I said, I'm trying to be extremely careful in not discarding any basic Pokemon. That way I can avoid Echoing Horn plays. Of course, if or when the Arceus V-Star does go down, they will have a target right there, which means keeping the switches around and the other Double Turbos will be very important to make sure that it just doesn't get stuck there. We are certainly in a very good spot at the moment. Slow and steady wins the race. We need 5 more turns to win this match. Of course, Radiant Charizard is a problematic card, but we don't have to worry about that just quite yet. And again, try and dig for the Marnie, for a Marnie, when we go into the Radiant Charizard turn, which will be when I'm down to cards. Unless they bench it earlier, which means I could also target it with a boss. Also, having big parcel on both Pokemon could be really important. Not sure if I want to Arceus right now. This stage. 7 cards in the lost zone already. Double Crown in play. 6-Agon is gone, which is protected, is not protected. Yeah, big parcel does not protect, but 6-Agon is just effects of attacks. We'll see the scoop of net and the first hit for 110. But generally, at this stage, Arceus VSTAR can take 3 prizes total. Or 4, yeah, 3 prizes total, which is really fantastic. Alright, so we're gonna go Colress, the Hyper Potion, the Switch, and honestly the Marnie. I do like the Marnie right here. I also kind of like the Hyper Potion to the point where I feel like I might attach to the active and then just take the KO. Yeah. So I can attach an energy right here, preparing for the Hyper Potion next turn to further the Arceus VSTAR. I'm doing well, and that's when I could go like switch into the Marnie, take away my opponent's huge hand. It's just looking really good. Their limited damage output is a big deal against this deck, which can not only heal but also further reduce damage. Probably won't even need to set up an extra attack at this point. They do lose a Pokestop, so less chances of them taking away the stadium that heals now. And that is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And both Echoing Horns. So unless they're playing exactly 3 Echoing Horns, now I have more freedom in discarding stuff. I wonder if this deck would want to play a Psychic Energy. Just for Radiant Gardevoir. I mean, there's nothing really that you would punish though, so I guess not. I guess it's not worth it. Alright. Do see the Spit innocently, which, like I said, we will be able to heal. And we now increase our damage output as well. I don't like big parceling here, switching and party KO. I feel like that's pretty good. Puts the energies back as well, which is fine. Neither of these Pokemon can be attacked through with damage counter placement at this point. Not even an escape rope helps with that. And now they're down both Cramorants, so they need to attack with the Zard. Then that's another prize card. This is where I will want to power up another Arceus though. Maybe not a Goodra, because I have the double turbo, which is powering up another Arceus. And there we go. Yeah, slow and steady wins the race. Reducing damage, healing damage. It's very impactful and very powerful, as clearly seen from the results of this weekend, and as clearly seen in this video. Yeah, this deck poses a good matchup against Palkia, good matchup against Lost Box, a good matchup against other Mirage Gate based decks, a good matchup against Regis, a good matchup against any Arc deck that has either Giratina or Flying Pikachu or whatnot. So it's really well positioned in the metagame, and it'll be interesting to see how the meta evolves after this, going into Lille this weekend. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.